begins, but for Blues, this could be the night the curtain rises on a bright new future and our ambitions realised. 5 days before we meet again under the arch, the Posh determined to throw down a marker and spoil the party before it's even begun. Promotion awaits, and it's Peterborough who has the first attack of the game down the left-hand side with Abraham Odo, but standing up to him is Alphonse Samsted, the Icelander, making his third league start this evening, and he can get the ball downfield in the first touch for the Australian Buildup in the Peterborough goal with the luminous orange kit. He launches downfield to the right-hand side, and Christian Bielik, the Blues captain, comes across, kept in play by Taylor Gardner-Hickman, exactly a month since his last start in blue. And then Johnston clears the ball and hacks the ball away down the right-hand side. 6 changes for both teams, Dale. Is there a psychological approach to tonight's game as well, with Sunday in the minds of both managers that don't want to show all of their hands too early?
Yeah, absolutely. You look at that, and you know, Chris Davies, I'm sure, has full faith in any of the squad that he has to pick from. But what you don't want is, 5 days short of a final, to play your hand in its entirety and show exactly what the lineup's going to be, how you're going to approach the game. So, and you can see the fact that both teams have made changes. More than half of that outfield will be different, you'd imagine, to what happens on Sunday. But good to see players that are out there. Christian Bielik returning, which is important. Taylor Gardner-Hickman really needed to play this evening if he's to feature on Sunday. But as I say, you've got enough quality on there. This man in particular in the centre of midfield, I've cursed him, but there's plenty of quality out there on the pitch. And from a Blues perspective, of course, you want to make your mark with Sunday in mind, to say to the manager, look, I want to give you something to think about.
Yeah, Tomoki Iwata in the lime green boots this evening, the midfield maestro, who, when we talk about with the season coming to its curtailment, moments of the season, and Tomoki Iwata is certainly going to have a lot of nominations to his name. And Alfie May latches onto a loose pass, and Alfie May bearing down on goal, first chance for Blues, and he's denied by Balakapic, and there's Williamson on the follow-up, but he heads over the crossbar. First big opening for Blues, first big opening for Alfie May, but he's denied by the Australian goalkeeper.
He'll be annoyed with himself, Alfie May. It's a little slip, misplaced pass he latches onto, and he's on the angle, he approaches it perfectly just to slide it into that far corner. It's the outstretched boot that keeps it out, and then Williamson on the follow-up just needs to keep his header down. It was almost Paul Caddis-esque in the way it was dropping out the sky. He just needed to make a good connection, gets underneath it, and up and over it goes. But it's a big chance, particularly for Alfie May, full of confidence with the goals now that he's got under his belt in recent weeks, and he'll want to have done better in that instance.
Yeah, 3 goal involvements on Saturday as well, and that 6-2 win against Barnsley. 1 goal, 2 assists, taking his tally up to 14 goals in all competitions, 23 goal involvements in all competitions across the board for Alfie May, but on that occasion he was denied by Balakapic. But here he is again down the left-hand side as he's released Taylor Gardner-Hickman. Swung in right-footed. Was aimed towards Williamson. The 2 Icelanders were in the penalty area, Williamson and Samsted. Samsted went down at the back post under pressure from Odo. Felt that the Peterborough winger had a chunk of his shirt, but the referee waves away and he appeals. Bentona, the man in the middle this afternoon. We've played 3.5 minutes. The first big chance has fallen Blues' way, but Alfie May denied by the Peterborough goalkeeper. Yeah,
positive signs though. If you're Chris Davies, you're happy that you're the team that looks to be taking the game to the opposition. They've had more possession. Big chance from Alfie May inside the first 5 minutes is a positive sign. Interesting when we talk through those changes that Peterborough have made. They've kept that dangerous front four on the pitch, haven't they? They are that pacey, athletic front four who have genuine threat, genuine danger. The goals they've scored and conceded, Peterborough, they're an open side, but those 4 on either wing down the middle of the pitch.
And it was Abraham Odo who was putting Samsted in danger as Blues were knocking it about at the back. Odo sprung the trap on the Icelander and has caught him in possession, then trying to redeem for his error. Alphonse Samsted has caught the tricky left winger, and a first set-piece opportunity for the Posh from the left corner of the penalty area. 0-0, we play 4 minutes.
Just too sharp, just nipped ahead of Alphonse Samsted, plants a foot to try and win the ball back. But first little bit of defending that Blues are having to do now inside 4.5 minutes. We talk about being better at set pieces. Chris Davies felt we were strong in that area in recent weeks. They're going to have to make sure they get first contact on this ball into the box. Harley
Mills, the Peterborough youth product, standing over this, to be a left-footed outswinger from the set-piece situation. First contact is a Blues one at the back post, but it's still not fully clear. It's a cluster of bodies. It falls for Odo in the penalty area. His effort into the crowd is blocked by Mark Leonard. It comes from Fernandez, right side of the penalty area, the centre-back who stayed up from the set-piece situation. And Peterborough now have the ball on the right-hand side and trying to recycle it into the penalty area through Kwame Poku. Poku drives towards the byline, flashes the ball across. Christian Bielik, the Blues captain, is there, and then Blues can conspire amongst themselves in the left-back position to hack the ball away. But as you say, Dale, first time Peterborough have asked some questions, and they were very, very concrete questions indeed. Yeah,
that's it. Blues did make first contact on that free kick into the box, but almost went up into the air and caused havoc in the penalty. Convincing in the way they cleared the ball. Even Alex Cochrane there could only put it out of play for a throw-in. So Peterborough's chance now to ask one or two questions of that Blues back line.
And Alfie May playing on the shoulder of that very high Peterborough line as Taylor Gardner-Hickman came forward. The ball through towards Alfie May, just outran the Blues striker, and then he was aware he was offside as it came cannoning back off Tomoki Iwata and into the Peterborough goalkeeper's gloves. But Peterborough are always going to pose a threat at home. It's certainly Birmingham's party to have, but Peterborough weren't ever going to stand on ceremony. Only Blues and Wrexham have scored more goals at home than Peterborough in the league this season. But in contrast to that, they've conceded the most goals at home in the league. It really is a statistic, however way you look at their goal record, which has really summed up Posh's and Darren Ferguson's season. Disappointing campaign for them.
Yeah, that's the story, isn't it? You know, you've got bags of goals at one end.
Oh, it's a cracking ball over the top by Leonard, looking to release Samstead down the right-hand side. Just a fraction overcooked, and the Peterborough goalkeeper, who's been very busy so far in dealing with long balls, comes out and collects. But Ricky J. Jones now in a foot race with Christian Bielik down the left-hand side, but Bielik too strong for the Peterborough striker and just shepherds that behind for a goal kick. Gets his body between man and ball and wins the ball for his side. 0-0.
Proper defending from Christian Bielik, gets pulled out of his central position. It's not where defenders want to be, but so comfortable, just as you say, uses that physicality, eases Ricky J. Jones out the way, frustrates him, he can't get to the ball, and in the end just brings him down, and Blues have the goal kick.
So Ricky J. Jones, he's not scored in the last 4 home games, but remember back to September, did score the opener against Blues before we completed the comeback and that 3-2 turnaround at St Andrews at Knighthead Park all those months ago. Who knew back then that it would be in this postponed reverse fixture that Blues had the first opportunity to go up. Christoph Klar wants to take a free kick quickly, but the ball was moving by the towering Austrian as he put his boot through it. So the referee just asks him to place the ball down again and restart. So it's 0-0, 8 minutes on the clock. It's been a thoroughly entertaining opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, what's interesting is Peterborough almost abandoned their principle.
And Alfie May has latched onto a loose ball and goes for the spectacular from distance. If he was going to catch Bilakovic out, he had to get that spot on, but got his angles all wrong, Alfie May, and scuffed the effort. And in the end, it's harmlessly wide.
Yeah, could see he was just off his line, didn't quite get the execution right. But just going back to that point, Peterborough insist on playing out. Whenever you watch them this season, regardless of how high the opposition press, you saw against Northampton, they will always try and play their way forward. They've almost abandoned that inside this first 10 minutes. They're looking to hit those wide players. You can see now out towards that right-hand side of Ricky J. Jones in a wrestling match with Bielik. So they want to stretch the pitch as much as they can, and that allows the space for those very dangerous front players just to have a little bit more to work with. And it's interesting tactic from Ferguson's side.
It's a cracking pick out by Taylor Gardner-Hickman. First time to find Williamson. He can turn and play over the halfway line to Tomoki Iwata. Blues are now retreated back to the halfway line, but Gardner-Hickman sends a lovely flighted ball over to Samstead to invite the Icelander forward. He can bring it down, but it was Harley Mills, the Peterborough left-back, who kept pace with Samstead after he's well found and blocked the attempted cross into the penalty area, and Blues continue from the throw-in into the centre of the park.
Lovely play, wasn't it? Out from left to right, looking for Samstead. Here he is again.
This time a drilled ball by Christian Bielik, looking for the run of Alphonse Samstead, who does certainly offer something different to Ethan Laird, but certainly as effective and has looked really lively inside the opening 10 minutes as well, the Icelander.
Yeah, he has. He looks to get forward. His delivery is pretty good as well. You see here, they look to set up Peterborough to go short. He just stretches the pitch a little bit, and then they'll make the way forward. Interesting, that front three always up against the Blues back line to give them an option. So it misses out the entirety of the midfield. and just sticks it on that Blues backline who have to deal with it.
Hooked forward by the Loka pitch, flicked on by Odo down the left-hand side. He's scampered away from Samsted, but he's recovered well, Samsted, to size up Odo as he charges towards the left-hand side, flashes the ball across the 6-yard box, and Clara's there to turn behind for the Posh's first corner of the game, down to our left-hand side in front of the 3,500 travelling Blues fans.
That's where you're difficult. That's Peterborough want that, those one-on-one duels in wide areas. It was Odo on that occasion, up against Samsted. Bags of tricks, looks to hit the pylon, and wins his side a corner. Make sure those situations are limited tonight from a Blues perspective.
6 of his 10 goals have come at home, Abraham Odo, and he's already been a live wire this afternoon as Mills delivers the corner. It's long, it's poor, and it's beyond everyone in the middle. And Peterborough can't make the most of the first corner opportunity of the evening. 11 gone, 0-0.
Who's going to still try and play forward through those thirds. You know how comfortable Usopp is with the ball at his feet.
And he oozes that quality again as he whips it out to Samsted under pressure from Ricky J. Jones, and then Blues can just knock it around the advancing Posh shirts as it's Bielik who emerges from the edge of the Blues penalty area and will scoop it up to Samsted on the halfway line, near side the right. 4 blue shirts surrounding the ball. It was Archie Collins leading the charge into the Blues midfield, but we knock it out of that tight cul-de-sac and then spread the pitch open wide down to the left-hand side for Cochrane. Looks to fizz it into Taylor Gardner-Hickman. Getting there first though was Johnston for Peterborough, and the Posh will have the throw.
I think that little passage is what Chris Davies will want more of. Blues just exerting control on the game, not making it too open, not helter-skelter, you attack, we attack. That plays into Peterborough's hands really, so from a Blues point of view, you want to get your midfielders on it, you want to play at your pace. If you have to recycle it through your centre-halves and out the other side, Blues will be completely comfortable with that. It's how they've approached games all season. What you don't want is a bit more of an open contest when you've got those speedsters that Peterborough have in the top end of the pitch.
Odo holding off Samsted and getting himself out of a tight corner with help from Johnston, who's then just upended by the on-rushing combination of Harris and Taylor Gardner-Hickman in the Peterborough right-back area. As I said, in the build-up, a completely changed back line for Peterborough of Johnston, Fernandez, Hughes and Mills. A very youthful back line, normally bolstered by the experience that Sam Hughes brings on loan from Stockport County. Holds the captain's armband on the left side of this Posh defence this afternoon.
Just bought it, the referee just bought it.
Absolutely.
Speak about them every game, don't we, Matt? Those ones where there's no contact but the player's got nowhere to go, takes a tumble and the referee buys it every time.
Yeah, Archie Collins on that occasion just hoodwinking the referee. Plenty of experience, has only missed 3 league games this season. An ex-teammate of Jay Stansfield, Exeter, the Peterborough number 4, who's commanding their midfield this evening. As the ball's fizzed down the right-hand side for the Posh, up to Jay Jones, beaten in the air by Bielik, and Bielik forces the Peterborough striker to nod the ball out of play on that far side. So as you say, it was a pretty helter-skeltery start in the opening 5 minutes or so. Both sides flexing their muscles, but in the past 3 or 4, 5 minutes, Blues have really exerted that dominance, exerted that control, and looked to knock the ball around and move Peterborough around the pitch.
Oh, well, Newsop's looking for another one. Yeah, it's exactly that, Matt. You know, both teams want to make an impression. You want to start fast, so naturally the opening exchanges can often be at quite a fast pace, but you know, for Blues, they don't want to get engaged in that.
As Collins spins away from the Blues press and invites Poku to open his box of tricks and get up to speed down the right-hand side. He breaks into the penalty area, sidesteps Cochrane, still going. Poku goes down in the 18-yard box. Muted complaints from the Peterborough players, and Blues pick the ball up, and Taylor Gardner-Hickman can look to run out his lines. He does so successfully and lays it off to Iwata, and Blues again with composure on the ball, 0-0.
Yeah, one thing about Peterborough, I'm not sure there's much structure and pattern to how they want to get the ball forward. I don't know whether they go wide through the middle of the pitch. I think they're dependent on that bit of individual quality of those front 4 players, and you know, again, sometimes they've gone long and looked to feed off a second ball, tried to isolate Samsted and Cochrane on either side. We've saw Odo and Poku both have a run at the full-back and try and take him on.
It's another cracking pick out down the right-hand side towards Samsted, and he wins Blues' first corner of the game off of the young Harley Mills.
Yeah, when we spoke about Samstead, doesn't need a second invitation to get forward. We saw at St Andrews a few games back, some lovely deliveries from the right-hand side, really wraps his foot around the ball, gets a great whip and dip on that delivery. So the more he can get forward up against the young fullback. Now you look at that one-on-one duels from a defensive perspective, but if Blues can isolate them as well going forward.
Yeah, turned 27 at the weekend, the Icelander, and certainly enjoying the opening 15 minutes operating down this right-hand side tonight. Leonard, right-footed corner kick into a dangerous area. May brings it down, losing the penalty area. It breaks for Bielik, who fires over the crossbar from the penalty spot. Well, he completed the turnaround at St Andrews at Knighthead Park against the Posh back in September. Can't open the scoring here as he blazes over from 12 yards, the Blues captain.
Yeah, we have two opportunities. It falls to Alfie May. I'm not sure he's expecting it to fall to him, Alfie May. It just drops to his foot and he sort of has a strike and then tries to shift it again and get another effort on goal. Eventually it falls to Bielik. Lots of quality with the ball at his feet, Christian Bielik. We know he's been deployed as a central midfielder for much of his career, so more than capable of finding the back of the net from that range. Just leans back, balloons it up and over the crossbar, and reaction of the players tell you that it was a big chance.
Yeah, certainly got a lot of power behind it, a lot of venom behind it. As applause rings around the stadium for younger Jack Lloyd. On the screens here at London Road, the Western Home Stadium. A fitting tribute to the young Posh fan. Alsop looking over the top with that dead shot accuracy. And he's overcooked it into his opposite number's hands. And Peterborough have the ball at the back with Manny Fernandez, who headed home from a corner kick as Peterborough took an early 2-0 lead against Blues. But he's given it away here, and Blues have won it high. And Harris charges up to the left-hand side of the penalty area, goes back towards Cochrane, and spread out to the left-hand side. Leonard shapes on the right foot, teasing ball into the penalty area. Was in towards Luke Harris, who stuck out a leg but couldn't make any convincing contact, and it's scrambled away by Peterborough. Quality on that delivery from Mark Leonard. Yeah,
really was teasing, inviting cross. He's won a white shot at the end of it, but Blues have maintained the pressure here.
Yeah, Blues continue to be in the hunt. On the Hickman down the left-hand side, taking Johnston for a run, but across comes Collins to shepherd that behind for a Peterborough goal kick. Knocking on the door, though.
Yeah, good. You have to say, it's just that one little hairy moment where Blues failed to clear the lines from a dead ball, but other than that, it has been Blues who are pricking and probing their way up the pitch. A couple of deliveries into the box, corners that have fell to Alfie May, Christian Bielik, so I think Alfie May's still the biggest chance after just a couple of minutes on the angle. But good that we're talking about Blues opportunities rather than Peterborough's.
Ricky J. Jones just dragging down Christian Bielik as he looks to get the right side of the Blues captain. After a long ball popped over the top, the referee saw the deception. Signal for the free kick to go Blues way. 0-0, we've played 18.5 minutes at the Western Home Stadium. Alfie May denied early on by the Peterborough goalkeeper, and Christian Bielik has seen a close-range effort fizzed over the crossbar. But it's certainly Blues asking all the questions from a goalmouth action perspective as we look to conjure another one. Tomoki Iwata picks out Gardner Hickman down the left-hand side. Plenty of time and space to assess his options. And cut into Alfie May! Off the crossbar and in! And with promotion on the table, Blues have wasted no time in hitting the front. And it's the man in form, Alfie May, who has put us on track for the championship in Peterborough. Posh 0, Blues 1, Alfie May on target again.
Chris Davies said, didn't he? He has no doubt whatsoever that Alfie May will be among the goals between now and the end of the season. And he has found some form in recent weeks. Tomoki Iwata plays a vital role there in the build-up, just whips the ball out towards the left-hand side, switches the route of attack, checked onto his right foot, then the delivery comes in, and Alfie May's there just to help from the woodwork. Enjoyed the celebration Big start for Blues to strike first. The fans down the other end have enjoyed it as well.
15th goal of the season for Alfie May, and this could be huge. Blues draw first blood. Alfie May, found by the teasing crosser Taylor Gardner-Hickman, and with help from the underside of the bar, beats the dive.
Matt, hasn't he? You know how good he is with the ball at his feet. You know, such a gifted player. But when he's checked onto that right foot, he just almost floats it in. He just guides it in with that little bit of inswing towards the far post, and there's Alfie May on the shoulder of his defender. It's what he does, isn't it, at this level? We shouldn't be surprised. Alfie May up to 15, he'll want more.
Yeah, Alfie May has been very vocal about wanting to hit that magic 20 again, which would make him the first player since Billy Sharp to hit 20+ goals in 4 consecutive EFL seasons. And he's certainly hit a purple patch at just the right time to do just that.
And that's where he operates, isn't it? Between the goalposts. That is prime Alfie May. You know, he's not somebody. Now, he scored spectacular goals in his career, but you really want Alfie May on the move, on the shoulder, anticipating balls across the box, getting on the end of things. It's a poacher's goal. You know, he's probably headed that in from 6 yards, 8 yards at best, and that's where you want him. And he's prolific in that area. And what a character as well. You talk about senior pros. You know, in that dressing room, he is the life and soul, Alfie May. Lovable rogue, the Blues forward.
It's now into the penalty area from the Peterborough corner. It's lashed into the bottom corner. Kwame Poku. Well, the ball dropped to the Peterborough man. He didn't need a second invitation and lashed it through the crowd from the edge of the penalty area. Now flies into the bottom corner. And just 3 minutes after taking the lead, Blues are pegged back. Kwame Poku levelling things up. At London Road, 1-1.
Yeah, clean strike from Poku. He just holds his position on the corner of the 18-yard box. It's a lovely clean strike. Whistles past Ryan Alsop. Blues will be a little annoyed that it's a set play. It's a second phase set piece that leads to the goal. It wasn't clear in our lines decisively enough. It'll be interesting to see back as to who was tasked with marking Poku or attacking that initial cross into the box. But again, you've just got your noses in front, talking about perfect start, and then you peg back immediately. It is when teams are susceptible, isn't it? You so often see, after you've taken the lead, that the opposition strike back, and it will irritate Chris Davies to no end.
Yeah, the initial contact was a Blues one, but the loose ball fell to Kwame Poku, and he lashed it into the bottom corner away from the dive of Ryan Alsop through the Blues crowd. And just 3 minutes after Blues hit the front, we're all square. Western Home Stadium.
What that does naturally, it just lifts the natives, doesn't it? You know, Blues have got 1-0 up. Muted stadium other than the away contingent. Immediately, Peterborough draw level, and now home crowd's up, and that momentum shifts again. So Blues just got to steady themselves, get back onto the ball. Look to pick and probe forwards, find those spaces, find the extra man.
Well, that's his 12th goal of the season, the Ghanaian. In the league, and now 8 of those 12 league goals have come here on his home turf. And Peterborough really missed his goal contributions for 3 months over the Christmas period. But he's come up trumps for them tonight, and has struck straight back against Blues vying to win promotion tonight.
Yeah, like we said, he's had, I think, the first set play that Blues had to defend. Chris Davies happy, felt that we'd been strong, felt that we'd defended particularly well those corners and crosses into the box, but I think if it was a Blues head, it just wasn't convincing enough, was it? It didn't clear any any distance. It didn't get the trajectory that you need to really see the danger off, and take nothing away from Poku. It's a fine finish.
May linking up with Leonard, and Blues committing bodies forward at pace, and Leonard tees up Alfie May. The left-footed effort wasn't convincing and cleared by the Peterborough defenders. And then there's Clara, who whips it back out towards that left-hand side, and Taylor Gardner-Hickman is onside. Shifts onto his right foot, deals another delicious delivery into the middle. Willemsen was arriving at pace around the back, but he was well shepherded by Mills. And you can see that behind for a Peterborough goal kick.
Yeah, want a little bit more aggression from Willemsen, just to go and throw his body at the ball, go and really head it. Got a real tall, rangy frame, hasn't he, Willemsen? You want to see him inside that far post, teasing cross again from Gardner-Hickman. Sort of the beauty of having a natural right footer over on the left, as Keshi Anderson so often does. You saw Hansen as well when he was fit. Just checks onto that favoured foot, whips it towards that far post, but you really want to see Willemsen, with all that aggression, attacking the ball with his head.
Harley Mills plucks the ball out of the sky as Ryan Alsop was seeking Samstead again down this near side the right. In front of us in the main stand here at Western Home Stadium, where it is Peterborough 1, Blues 1. Kwame Poku cancelling out Alfie May's opener. Just 3 minutes between the two goals. As May charging down, the Peterborough goalkeeper inside his penalty area, took a chance before offloading to Manny Fernandez. And Fernandez can find Poku short. Tell you what, they took a chance there, did Mo Sissoko, the Manchester City lone man, and it was almost cut out by Willemsen, but he just got away with it as he played the ball straight across his own back line, and the Posh retain it. Heavy touch by Johnston this time, invites the pressure from Gardner-Hickman, and Gardner-Hickman wins the throw-in. Looks to get on with it quickly, but the referee deems that he's stolen a few yards, and then he's deemed that he's stolen even more yards from where he eventually took the throw-in. And so wants it taken right back, just when Alfie May was looking to escape the clutches of Manny Fernandez from the quick throw-in. 1-1, we've played 25 minutes.
You're about to take both goals off each.
I was indeed, yeah.
Yeah, Blues have recovered well, having conceded. They've got themselves back on the ball, again threatened. A couple of crosses into the box.
Again, Bielik executing that raking left to right ball again to Samstead, but he's passed to Willemsen, doesn't find his target. It's picked up by the blue shirts of Peterborough. They have it in the left back position with the captain Hughes, who this time looks for a left to right raking ball himself. That's cut out by Cochrane and headed on towards May, whose first touch is loose, picked up by Manny Fernandez on the edge of his own penalty area. And then Fernandez charged down by the Blues goal scorer to work it back to the goalkeeper, who can fire it forward. Clara in a right-on scrap with Ricky J. Jones. Just a contest developing between those two to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I know where my money's going.
And now Willemsen caught in possession, and Clara desperate to get back, and he did just enough to put Ricky J. Jones off his second touch and showed too much of it to the on-rushing Alsop, who could clear his lines, but Blues almost caught at the back. 1-1.
Clara recovers so well. Willemsen puts him in a spot of danger, doesn't he? Just gets caught back to the halfway line. There's a couple of goals conceded last year, and you think of Siriki Dembele on a couple of vital occasions towards the end of the season, got caught in a similar position. It just puts your back line right in the headlights, because Clara's then backtracking towards his own goal. He's the wrong side of his marker, but he eats up the ground, the big man, and almost just eases Ricky J. Jones out the way. It's, again, he's just got so much in the armoury. Christophe Clara can play with the ball at his feet. We've seen him sort of pacey runs down the right-hand side. When he gets involved, he's encouraged to step in, but when he has to do the nitty-gritty stuff, he's a big brute of a man who loves defending as well. He's a fantastic acquisition for the club.
And again, there's just been a few heart-in-the-mouth moments from a Peterborough perspective. This time Johnston was loose, but Fernandez recovered well before May could steal in on the edge of the penalty area. Clara out towards this near side for Samstead, just inside Posh territory. 1-1, just ticking up to half an hour played here in Peterborough. Clara receives the ball from Bielik on the halfway line. Iwata, great turn away from Mothersill to leave the bleached-haired central attacking midfielder in his wake. Good. And then Cochrane with a long raking diagonal to find Samstead. First touch plucks out of the sky, and then he drives towards the byline, digs out a cross which is deflected. Just the wrong side of the corner flag. Will be a throw-in just shy of the corner flag. Blues, though, building.
Yeah, and Bielik in particular has looked across to this side, hasn't he, on a number of occasions to find Alphonse Samsted. And clearly up against Harley Mills, fancies his chances and trying to feed the Icelander as often as he can over on this right-hand side.
Yeah, certainly the 5th league start for Harley Mills at left-back, and certainly being put through his paces by the experienced Icelander in the opening 30 minutes.
Sure.
Peterborough playing with fire at the back as Hughes spins away from Willemsen and gets out of trouble to find Mills, and then Mothersill can get there ahead of Tomoki Owata, and Peterborough get themselves out of yet another tight corner.
Yeah, because it is a new look back four in its entirety, and you wonder how often these quartet have played together and how often they've been drilled on building from the back. We talk about Chris Davies from day one he came in. That was his first thing. His first priority was, right, we're going to have a lot of the ball this season. We're going to learn how to build through the third. Even when they do get out, is it a little bit of luck versus judgment? I'm not sure they're as convincing as Blues are when they try and build. They're certainly a team who, again, you know, you mentioned at the start they might have abandoned.
Given away by Sissoko, picked up by May, looks for the reverse ball to Harris, who made the overlapping run, but that's cut out by the Manchester City low man, who atoned for his error and got his frame behind the ball to cut out what would have been a piercing pass for Luke Harris into the 18-yard box.
Yeah, I think we said early on, like I say, I can see why they've opted to go long on a few occasions, because again, it's a new look back line, wouldn't have played together all that often. You're asking them to take the ball in uncomfortable areas against the best pressing team in terms of intensity and putting you under immense pressure deep inside your own half. Takes a brave team, a brave group of players to keep doing it, so you can understand why they've gone long, and they have.
Aro just about gets enough on that to reach Allsop. We had to take evasive action. Odo to put his lines upfield. Leonard charged down, head up and really stretch the Peterborough back line from the loose ball. Willemsen picks the ball up in front of Darren Ferguson, managing his 800. The manager. Drop zone, a relegation zone that they've been anxiously looking season, as Bielik picks out Samsted, and Samsted wraps his foot around it, and Taylor Gardner-Hickman was arriving at pace, just sliced the effort, and it came back out to this right-hand side, and it's headed away by Mills, and then Mothersill is seen to by Samsted, and he will concede the throw-in, but Taylor Gardner-Hickman, difficult technique, couldn't execute.
Oh, Christian Bielik, we're sat right behind that initial pass, aren't we, from Bielik? It's flat, it's zipped along. He's found Alphonse Samsted the umpteenth time already inside 33.5 minutes. I think Samsted's cross is it's a teasing one again, isn't it? Lots of whip. We talk about that delivery from the right-hand side. The press is good as well. They're not allowing Peterborough to settle. It's forcing them to go longer, quicker, and it's gobbled up by Clara and Bielik. Blues just, again, trying to just get a stranglehold on the game.
Yeah, you can see clearly when Blues are just trying to retain that vice-like grip and regain composure as May flashes into the 18-yard box from the right-hand side, brought down by Sissoko.
Referee.
And then Jones, in a wrestling match with Bielik this time, goes down the Peterborough striker, but his complaints unyielding the referee, and then Luke Harris tripped as he looked to spin away midway inside posh territory, and the home fans despairing as that decision is blown up and Blues awarded the free kick.
Shows flashes, doesn't he, Harris? You know, he took that on the back foot, oozes a bit of quality there, he's got bags of energy. As Chris Davies said, would love to have played more, I think, than he has this season, but still very much a young player, and if Blues are to get promoted, he's a young player, will be better for the experience. He's felt and touched and seen what good winning dressing room looks like, a proper pros. So yes, he might not have had the minutes he would have liked, but he's contributed with important goals. You think back to the Wickham away game so early on in the season to win that one. You could see how pleased he was to be back on the score sheet as well in that 6-2 win over Barnsley. And again there, just shows that little bit of quality that he does have.
So free kick Blues, just left of centre, midway inside Peterborough territory. It's Cochrane who will float this left-footed. Clara was looking to get away from his mark around the back post, but the whistle had gone for some skirmishes in the penalty area, and it'll be a defensive free kick to Peterborough. And you say that as well with Luke Harris chipping in the 6-2 win, a really welcome goal for him, as well as the strike against Cambridge. But we spoke about the camaraderie and the close-knit nature of this camp, and it was just brilliant to see. Obviously Jay Stansfield, one of the first to run across to Luke Harris, their best mates from the Fulham camp, but everyone's so happy for everyone else when they score. You see that, you know, case in point with Lukas Jukovic, of course, but it's just that unselfishness that everyone is so happy for each other in this camp, something that we've seldom seen recently from Blues teams.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's genuine. You know, we're around it, you can sense it. It's a group of players who, you know, they're a brotherhood, as Chris Davies so often tells us in his post-match interviews, that genuinely love being at the training ground. It's a fantastic environment to work in. Of course, winning helps that, but as a new group of players, you have to do your diligence as to the profile of who they are as people. Are they team players? And Blues have stumbled across a real group.
Neat build-up by Blues, and it's found Taylor Gardner-Hickman, left-hand side of the penalty area, and it's scrammed under the goalkeeper and nestles into the bottom corner. And with 10 minutes to go until half-time, Blues retake the lead and are back on track for the championship tonight. Taylor Gardner-Hickman back from injury and back on the score sheet. Peterborough 1, Blues 2, the end of the road in sight once again.
They found the extra man. Blues had the overload on the other side of the pitch, managed to shift it again, as was the case with the first goal. They've moved it from right to left. This time it's Taylor Gardner-Hickman, rather than crossing for Alfie May, shifts it onto his right foot. The power just beats the goalkeeper, who does get a firm hand, bounces up into the back of the net. But Taylor Gardner-Hickman, another player who just started to contribute before his injury, back on the pitch this tonight, back among the goals as well, and making a contribution, and that could be a big one.
Some way to announce your return with a goal that could have such magnitude in the race for the championship. So Blues re-establish our lead with 10 minutes to go until half-time. It's a really lovely passage of play, about 6-7 players involved in it from back to front, down the right-hand side, then the ball inside, and a whip ball to the left-hand side of the box, brought under control by Gardner-Hickman, just got a yard on his right foot, as you say, drilled it, and it just deceived the Peterborough goalkeeper, squirmed underneath the Australian, and netted into the bottom corner, Dale.
Yeah, it's what they do, they pick you apart, don't they? They move it so well.
Peterborough looking to emulate their fight back once again and strike straight back down the other end. Odo checks inside on his right foot. Mothersill about 25 yards from goal, seen to by a retreating challenge from Luke Harris on the edge of his own penalty area, and Harris with the composure to find Alphonse Samsted and clear downfield.
Yeah, Luke Harris, that's why Chris Davies likes playing him, that's why he talks him up so often. You know, it's okay running around like a headless chicken, but actually he's back there defending, doing the ugly stuff, even if he's deployed off Alfie May tonight. But that is what Blues do, they move you around. You know, they can move the ball, they go into central positions, you get narrowed off, and then they go back out again. And always look to play through their central midfielders before they go wide, and on that occasion they've just popped it around Blue shirts at will, and there's oceans for Taylor Gardner-Hickman over on the far side to work with.
Extremely early days yet, I'm sure Chris Davies will crucify me for even attempting to look at other results, but Huddersfield and Wickham still 0-0, so as it stands, Blues being promoted 19 points with the gap between us and third.
The benefit of tonight really is that it's in your hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go and win, doesn't matter what happens elsewhere, you've secured promotion, and that was the objective at the start of the season.
Full-blooded challenge from Christian Bielik right in the back of Ricky J. Jones, who brought the ball dead to his feet, cleared out by the Polish international. Free kick Peterborough on the halfway line.
Even there, Matt, you might be biased, they've almost hacked the ball clear. It's almost a scuff clearance, and it falls to the feet of Ricky J. Jones. There's no pattern to it, so the Blues will be confident they continue to press this back line, make sure that those defenders lock onto their men, give them nowhere to go.
Fernandez under pressure from Gardner-Hickman, fires it into his right back Johnston, difficult to control, and he's charged down by Taylor Gardner-Hickman. And Blues wrestle the ball back, and it's been a occurring theme in the past 10 or so minutes that Blues have just managed to wrestle the ball back off Peterborough as this makeshift back four has looked to play their way out, and Blues have just reasserted dominance and control and can really pull the strings of the fixture.
Alex Cochrane does really well there in that latest press, because he's made up 40-50 yards. He's actually pressing his marker nearly in line with the 18-yard box, the Peterborough 18-yard box. That's how high Blues are willing to go and press.
Clara skips away from Mothersill, about 40 yards from goal. Williamson caught late by the sliding Mills, but referee lets play continue as May looks to find Samstead. The pass though was loose. Mothersill with
referee, what you on?
A turn away and felt that he was upended. The referee agrees, Bentona, and Peterborough just have a bit of respite in their left back position with the free kick. 2-1 Blues lead.
Don't tee me up to mention the referees, man.
Well, I can't give my
it's the wrong decision. He's facing us. I mean, we're the right side of it. We're, he's facing us on the touchline. Just because there's two white shirts that surround him, I actually think Blues win the ball. But
yeah, if he's outnumbered, it's automatically a free kick.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mills looked like he can control that with his hand, but play goes on as he slips in. Mothersill down the left-hand side. He's round Allsop, but Allsop did tremendously well to close down the angle. He dived to the feet of Mothersill and forced the forward to rush his effort and slice it wide of the mark.
Yeah, it's a really good pass, isn't it, from Mills? He gets it out of his feet over on this left-hand side, just slides it down the outside. Blues just marking the wrong side. You almost want Samstead to step in and intercept, or Christoph Clara to get a little closer. Forces Ryan Allsop to come racing out of his goal just to narrow the angle. He does well just to stay on his feet and ease him wide, and it was the angle instead that that proves to be the challenge. But the first time that they've slid Blues apart really with that pass, separates Samstead and Clara.
Yeah, just a few warning shots though from the Posh to let the league leaders know there's still a live opposition. We lead the Posh by 2-1 with 3 minutes to go until half-time. As Iwata brings the ball out towards the left-hand side for Cochrane. There's Leonard. And then Bielik will look for that long raking diagonal again. Samstead heads the ball in field. Given away by Hughes, picked up by Tomoki Iwata. You can hear the groans of frustration as another Bielik crossfield pass connects with its recipient, and the Posh faithful getting frustrated that their left-back Mills isn't tracking that and picking that up.
Yeah, I think they're looking to the assistant. They felt he was offside. He wasn't offside, but again, it's Samstead, the target of these sweeping passes from left to right. I think Bielik to Samstead has to be the most connected pass of the first half. And it's what can Samstead do? It's invariably Williamson, his compatriot, who he looks to pop the ball inside to. Sometimes he's carried it infield as well, and at very worst, he just recycles it back to your centre halves and you're out the other side. But Samstead playing almost the entirety of the first half in the Peterborough half, Peterborough territory.
This time it's Cochrane looking for that long diagonal for Samstead. It's nodded down by Mills this time, and then a triangle of Mills, Collins and Hughes can look to play Peterborough out of trouble at the back and then squeeze it down the left-hand side for Jones to give chase. Clara does well to recognise the danger and execute the clearance and get his body across. And his attempted ball out is slid away by Odo, out for a Blues throw-in.
Yeah, good again from Clara. Centre half, you've got pacey striker on your shoulder, ball's gone over your head, running back towards your own goal. You've got to make sure you get there first. It's a firm connection back to Allsop. The Blues look to play their way up the pitch.
Mothersill plays it in field to Sissoko, and then the ricochet almost took it into the path of Poku down the right-hand side of the penalty area. But Alex Cochrane reacted well to hack the ball away for a throw-in down the Peterborough right.
Yeah, Taylor Gardner-Hickman in that instance was the player who made the recovery run and that interception. It was Cochrane who cleared, but it was Harris moments ago. That time it's Taylor Gardner-Hickman. The work rate right up there from those Blues midfielders.
Blues have lost it deep in our left back position. Johnston has robbed the ball back for Peterborough, and they play it from right to left, and now it's found Odo looking to stand up. Samstead across comes his Icelandic compatriot Wilhelmsson to bolster his defences, but he looks got the long way around Odo, and he goes down under the challenge of Samsted. Just ran out of room, I think, and no complaints from Abraham Odo, despite some Peterborough fans thinking that Samsted had tripped his heels. So it'll be a Blues goal kick.
You never know, sometimes you only have to ask the ref at this level and he might give you a decision.
I didn't even tee you up for that one. No. You just went there on your own accord.
Yeah, sorry, still bitter from that earlier decision.
And there's a romantic in me that finds it very wholesome that Alphonse Samsted and Willem Wilhelmsson are getting to play on the same wing together. Childhood friends, went through the Icelandic football system together, and now on the brink of promotion with Blues. After, you have to say, taking a gamble, dropping down to League One from the Eredivisie.
Yeah, genuine friends, aren't they? The picture that Blues posted when they first signed was very much grassroots, under 9s, 10s, when they were playing football together as young kids, and both forged careers in the game. Now find themselves both at the best football club in the world.
And it's a football club who are on the brink. Leonard picks up the loose ball and sidesteps a blue shirt. And then Cochrane can arrive down the left-hand side. Can we double our advantage before the half's out? We lead Peterborough by 2-1. But Blues seeking a third in the first 45. We've got 2 minutes of additional time. We're a minute 20 through that, as Christian Bielik turns back and finds Ryan Alsop on the edge of his penalty area in the deep.
Look at Blues, they come alive when the ball's at Ryan Alsop's feet. They all know that he can find you. They all make these little runs. It looks like they're just easing back towards the halfway line. Blues are going to try and play forward, and then all of a sudden May just drops a shoulder and Samsted makes that arching run inside his fullback. They're all looking for those 70-yard heat-seeking missiles from Ryan Alsop. He's that capable.
And with that, the first half comes to an end, and so far it's job done. Blues are halfway there.
Period. Again, the annoyance will be conceding from a set play, but the 2 goals have put you ahead. You're in a commanding position. Go and get across the line. Go and execute as you have done all season. Nothing changes. Don't overthink the situation. There's so many phrases you pick up from the manager, but he says play the game that's in front of you, don't you? You react to the situation that's right ahead of you. Don't overthink it. So Blues can do just that. You'd imagine both sides will ring the changes in this second period, so we'll keep an eye on how that changes things tactically. Peterborough will want to try and chase and find a way back into the game, and for Blues, as we say, some big names, some big hitters to call on as well. So all to play for. Blues 45 minutes away, and I can't sit down.
Very antsy here in the press box at the Western Home Stadium. Ethan Leb, Jay Stansfield, Kieran Dowell amongst those on the bench for Blues. Names that have been sure starts on the team sheet in recent weeks, and that's who Blues have to, should things not pan out the way that the script intended and Chris Davis intended tonight. And of course, with an eye on Sunday, he'll probably want to rest as many players as he can, but the 6 changes so far have rung true. Blues leading Peterborough by 2-1. Just have a few more obstructions in our way as Blues are now kicking from right to left as we look at it in this second half towards where those 4,000 Blues fans are housed, as down goes Komepoku, the posh goal scorer, under pressure from Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who scored and assisted, set up Alfie May for his header. That's now Alfie's 5th goal in 6 games against the posh, and 5 goals in his last 4 for Blues.
Yeah, player in form again, and I think he spoke about going through streaks in his career, spells where the goals dry up a little bit, but then all of a sudden confidence comes flowing back in. He gets one and then goes on another run again, and those stats there. Alfie May, when you feed him, when you give him the ammunition, he invariably finds the back of the net, and so he's found a bit of form at the right time, hasn't he? You come to the climax of the season. Goals are crucial to win your games, get you over the line, break records. perhaps.
Picks up and charges towards the edge of the Blues penalty area, but he's picked off, and Taylor Gardner-Hickman surrounded by 3 blue posh shirts. And it's Mothersill who can rob him of possession, and then Fernandez can spread across the left-hand side for Harley Mills. Mills can surge forward down the Peterborough left, offloads to Abraham Odo, who had a few flashes in that first half, flashes of quality. Just to ask 1 or 2 questions of the right-hand side, the defensive capabilities of Alphonse Samstead. As the ball is squeezed down the right-hand side by Peterborough, across comes Christophe Clara, who slides in front of Ricky J. Jones and sends the ball out for a throw-in.
Yeah, just watching the manager right on the edge of the technical area, frustrated that Taylor Gardner-Hickman didn't just pop it in field, went for the intricate flick, and then that allowed Peterborough to spring a bit of a counter-attack. And we gave up possession of the ball, which is, you know, cardinal sin if you're Chris Davies.
Long throw-in by Jones. It's hooked back in from the edge of the penalty area. Odo looked offside to me as he attempted to go for that ball, but play goes on nonetheless, and Odo's latched onto things down the left-hand side, but Samstead's forced him all the way back to the halfway line, and Peterborough can retain possession with Johnston on this right-hand side, and he can clip it up to Poku, who brings it down into his path and sidesteps past Cochrane into the right-hand side of the penalty area, looks to tee up Jay Jones, who was flashing across the front post, but the ball too close to Ryan Alsop, who can gratefully pick up in his 6-yard box.
Yeah, just distances from Alex Cochrane. The ball's played and lofted out towards Poku. You know, he's poised to go and put a challenge in as soon as Poku controls, but he's just too sharp. Skirts around him, then Alex Cochrane thinks about dragging him down to the ground, and he's away from the Blues fullback. Fortunately for Blues, he fails to pick out a blue shirt in that 18-yard box, and again, you know, a player full of quality on that Peterborough side. He's got to make sure those little fine details are right, make sure those distances, when that ball's in the air, you land on him as soon as he's had that first touch, because half a yard off and he's got that electric pace, those quick feet to get around you.
Yeah, certainly a real spark of inspiration for the Posh on so many occasions this season when he has been fit. I missed him for a 4-month period when he was out with injury. Peterborough again just looking to spring the trap on the Blues back line, who are just popping the ball about with confidence and with composure. And Alsop in the bottle green goalkeeping strip, who concedes just the 18th time in an away game for Blues in the league this season. Blues still on the record for conceding the least amount of goals away from home. There was nothing you could do about the ferocious drive from Kwame Poku in the first half, but that goal answered back by Taylor Gardner-Hickman as Blues just surrendered possession by gifting a free kick to Peterborough on their own defensive line. We've played 5 minutes in this second half. The score's 2-1 to Blues.
Yeah, that's it with Taylor Gardner-Hickman back in the side, goal and assist, exactly the sort of impact he'll hope to have had.
Odo drifts in field to
Adam Christian
link things up for Peterborough, but Christian Bennett read the danger, anticipated it and executed the interception to perfection, stepping out from centre-back.
Intelligent player, Christian, isn't he? What impresses you most about Christian Bennett and Ben Davies, obviously not starting the game in the squad this evening, is that so often defenders would just be content with heading a ball or making an interception and clearing it, but he always looks to find a teammate. It's a little cushion header where he takes all the pace off it. He'll try and find a white shirt.
Williamson prods it through to Alfie Mayer, looks for the 1-2 of the Blues striker, but Williamson miscontrols the ball and his pocket is picked by Sissoko, who looked to play through Jones down the right-hand side of the Blues back line, but Ricky J. Jones not singing from the same hymn sheet as his centre midfield teammate. And Blues able to pick up at the back, but playing with fire at the back, and Ryan Alsop has to be on his toes to get to a under-hit pass back by Christophe Clara to clear the lines upfield, and that just instilling Posh with a bit of confidence, a bit of galvanisation, and you can hear the home fans responding in turn. 2-1.
Yeah, under-hit pass from Clara just put Ryan Alsop in a little bit of danger. First time that Blues haven't looked fluid in building from that last line of defence. That's what you expect Peterborough to have a spell. Ultimately, the home side, they're chasing the game. Can't all be one way.
And they've got a pretty decent home form as well, Peterborough, this season, despite their shaky patch in the middle of the campaign. That hammering against Northampton. Very much out of sorts for them in recent form, just their first defeat at home since January. But went down in very sorry style to the Cobblers, 4-0. And Hughes had to make sure on the turn that he got enough power on that to work it back to his goalkeeper, with Alfie May breathing down his neck. Indeed, he did, and Lukovic can clear downfield, but it's brought down by the Blues back line. Then Conquerin sends a searching long ball forward, brought down by Fernandez. A few juggles before playing it back to his goalkeeper in the luminous orange strip, being buoyed by the Blues supporters behind the goal. A late lunge by Luke Harris catches Manny Fernandez as he offloaded the ball, and Luke Harris will be the first recipient of the referee's yellow card this evening.
Yeah, Chris Davies just gesturing as to why he's dived in. You know, you've got them, you've locked them in. Taylor Gardner-Hickman on the follow-up, Alex Cochrane as well, as, you know, making up ground to put his marker under pressure, but Luke Harris slides in, just too eager to try and win the ball, and didn't need to make the challenge. Just relieves any pressure, doesn't it, when Blues are hunting? You know, they're all chasing and harrying and making life uncomfortable for Peterborough, and then free kick means that all of that pressure just fades and Peterborough can clear the ball.
Yeah, with that Luke Harris challenge, Kieran Dowell has been sent to warm up within eye shot of Chris Davis. Just coming up to the hour mark when Chris Davis has a preferred window to make his first bout of changes, usually, as Mothersill rises to beat Tomoki Iwata midway inside the Blues half. Christoph Clara can bring it under control, and Alex Cochrane can hoist away only as far as Johnston. Luke Harris, and it's Mark Leonard who steals in, and he can slot through Alfie May down the left-hand side. White shirts flooding forward in support. May, though, finds Gardner-Hickman out of his feet, pulls the trigger, looks to bend it towards that far corner, inside on the left channel, got under it and sends it sailing into the Blues faithful in the away end. 2-1 Blues lead.
He got caught between power and precision, Taylor Gardner-Hickman. You know, he didn't commit to whipping it towards the far post. He didn't commit to lacing the ball either. It was sort of a bit of each and balloons over. It's a little bit of an ugly one in the end, but takes up a great position, Taylor. And it's a really good move, wasn't it? You know, Blues playing their way down this left-hand side. Alfie May released behind that Peterborough back line, picks out a pass.
Milokovic just getting away with one, the Peterborough goalkeeper, selling Fernandez a bit heavily on his own touchline. But the young defender on loan from Manchester City manages to spare his goalkeeper's brushes. Alfie May latches onto a loose ball forward, but he's recovered from an offside position.
Let's have a look to see who Ben Petty's summoning down this touchline. It's Kieran Dowell, you know, Paik Sung-ho, Keshi Anderson and Ethan Laird all coming in from their warm-up down this near side. So how many of them will be thrown on, we'll wait and see.
Well, we're going to see a quartet, because Keshi Anderson's got his training jacket off, Ethan Laird's got his bib off, and Paik Sung-ho is also going to remove his bib to put his match day kit on. So that's 3 at least. Kieran Dowell's been sent back out to warm up, but certainly we'll see at least 3 changes coming up to the hour mark, as Posh play out down the left-hand side with Mills. Plays it in field, picked up by Abraham Odo, and then here's Johnston down the right-hand side. Mothersill is pulled out to this right flank, seen to by Taylor Gardner-Hickman, and the ball comes anxiously close to our commentary position as it's slammed away by Johnston.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's had a gush of blood to the head, didn't he? It's almost like Sunday League, you know, it's a 50-50, you just want to blast the ball off the opposition, but he got there in good time, Cole Johnson. Darren Ferguson in front of him, just exasperated with the decision. Just bladder the ball into the crowd. Straight out the Delaney playbook.
Give me too much credit. Yeah, a few yards further, and I'm sure you probably would have had to spring into action and wind the years back to control that.
And it's out to play again.
And yeah, Peterborough at 6s and 7s, playing out from the back this time, and they've conceded a throw-in deep inside their own territory, and Blues have got on with it quickly. Harris linking up with Leonard. Momentum of the move just fading slightly as Posh have got bodies behind the ball, but Blues with some firm possession. The Olays, I think, have started a bit prematurely. from the Blues faithful as we're knocking it about. But we lead by 2 goals to 1.
I don't want to jinx it here, but Christian has that diagonal absolutely nailed, doesn't he? He even puts a bit of inside to outside on it, and he's looking out towards Williamson or Samstead.
And even with a slip, Williamson can pick the ball up from Christian Bielik's pass, and Blues can keep a hold of possession. It's spread out to Leonard. Plenty of passes have gone into this move already, and now Mark Leonard has taken a page out of Christian Bielik's cross-field book and put it right on the toe of Samstead. Williamson teasing his way infield onto his left foot. Blues midway inside posh territory and in no mood to surrender this football. But Mark Leonard will surrender the ball, and it's met by resounding boos as Poku looks to capitalise, charging away from Gardner-Hickman down the right-hand side. He's got Cochrane for company now. Poku teasing his way onto his right foot, tight to the right-hand touchline. Across comes Cochrane. The deflection was made, and it's just the right side of the corner flag to escape the white lines for a throw rather than a corner.
Looks like a player who's trying to do it himself, isn't he, Poku? You know, he is a threat. Just drops a shoulder and a feint. You're always trying to stay light on your feet when you're marking him. You never want to dive in. It just relieves a little bit of pressure, gets his team up the pitch.
It's a shame because it was a really sustained period of pressure from Blues until that loose touch from Mark Leonard. It's allowed Poku to be released and wheel away. So he's won a throw-in. Jones will launch this in just shy of the corner flag on the right-hand side. It's in towards Fernandez, look to bring it down. Under pressure from Bielik, Blues do enough to hat the ball away. Mills urged to shoot, instead stands it up towards Odo. Left-hand side of the box, pulls it back for Lodersill, and it's a splendid save from Ryan Allsop to turn it round the right-hand post. But Odo looks suspiciously offside to me in the build-up.
Yeah, kick towards that far post, just knocked down. Free shot on goal, Allsop down to his right-hand side. Blues have to stay alert. We've got those players getting ready to come on. It looks like there's at least 3 white shirts that are going to be summoned. Blues have got to make sure they see off this corner.
Yeah, the posh breakthrough on the score sheet came from a set piece down the other end. What can they conjure up from this one? Left-footed, floated towards the back post. Hughes arriving to nod back across the 6-yard box, and he did so, but it's a Blues instep that can scramble the ball to relative safety. It will come back to the form of Archie Collins, who clips it out towards this near side the right. Hughes playing as a makeshift winger, and then Williamson hacks it away downfield. May's the furthest forward. Surely that was handball by the right back Carl Johnston, and then Blues desperate to get on with things. And I wonder if the referee's going to dish out any more punishment here, because if Johnston doesn't control that ball, Alfie May is one-on-one with the final defender before getting through on goal.
Yeah, I thought he might book him.
It's a difficult one, because it's an awkward bounce, but, you know, to play devil's advocate, but, you know, truths are truths. So I don't want to steal your thunder with refereeing decisions.
No, you can take up the mantle, that's fine.
So here comes that triple change now. Pek Sung-ho is going to replace Mark Leonard. So where are we? Now we're gone, and Chris Davis is going to throw the dice. We lead by 2 goals to 1, and just to bolster the ramparts, 3 of that star-studded bench will be utilised. Alphonse Samstead is going to come off for Ethan Laird, so that's 2 like-for-like changes, and I'm sure we're going to see a third. Taylor Gardner-Hickman looks like he's making his way off as well, still working his way back to full fitness, of course, full match fitness, but a goal and an assist to mark his return. Performance from TGH.
Yeah, he's the headline. Oh, isn't he? Back among the goals, back among the assists. And you know if Taylor Gardner hit 100% every... that finally, not just by the management staff, but the supporters as well. It's not a bad few players to bring on.
We are going up is the chant that has started from the Blues end with half an hour to go. And it's clipped over the top to Alfie May, and May brings it down into the penalty area, but his first touch was heavy and took it into the path of Vilakovic, who cannoned it behind for a corner.
Yeah, the Blue supporters behind that goal certainly smell blood, don't they? Alfie May stealing the march again, just a touch running away from him, agonising to watch. He just couldn't quite make up the ground, chasing after the touch, and The keeper makes a stop, but Blues still have a corner. Starting to believe, aren't they, on that goal, last half hour of the game.
Corner kick taken, right-footed towards the front post. It's dealt with at that front stick by Mills, but the whistle had gone in the penalty area for an infringement. And Peterborough will have the ball in their penalty area. Blues lead by 2-1 with 27 to go on the clock. And now the Posh are going to throw their dice. Cian Hayes is the first to be brought on, the Irishman. He will replace Malik Mothersill, of course. Darren Ferguson, the same camp as Chris Davies, with an eye on Sunday. Will want to rest as many of his talismans as he can, and not have to use up their minutes if he doesn't have to. Mo Sissoko will come off as well. Hector Kyprianou, the Cypriots, one of the regular starters for Peterborough, who was rested for the majority, will come on, and the final to take to the field, James Donnelly. So a triple change to answer the same from Blues comes from the Peterborough bench.
I think what is interesting is you've seen, the most potent weapon that this Peterborough side have is that front line, and we've seen them from the start tonight. 65 minutes. We've seen what their abilities like and what their threats are, and I think that will help Chris Davies when he looks back at the tape going into Sunday. I suppose it's the supporting cast behind that's a little different for Darren Ferguson's side to what we're used to seeing on a league basis, but for Blues it's changes across the board. Those 6 coming in a variety of positions, so shown his hand a little bit, Ferguson, in a way of what they've got in attacking sense, but if we're honest, nothing that Blues should really be afraid of. But got to get across the line. Still 25 minutes plus stoppage. Got Chris Davies ringing in my ear. And you've got to concentrate on the next game.
Yeah, and that next game is going to last another 25 minutes. Blues in the driving seat so far, and still very much with work to do before we can turn our attention to that big day out on Sunday. And my, is there going to be a party in the capital, especially if Blues can get over the line tonight. Stop jinxing it, Matt. Stop jinxing it.
Interestingly, Matt, Wickham have taken the lead at Huddersfield, so big goal for them. It was insignificant if Blues go and win tonight, so...
the connotation was anything but a win for Wickham if Blues failed to win here. But so far, we're doing that job. It's only a 1-goal lead, though, and Christoph Clara almost fluffing his lines with an underhit back pass, but now it's Peterborough fluffing their lines, and Fernandez misses his touch, but Keshi Anderson can't link up with Alfie May, developing into a bit of a basketball match in the past couple of moments.
Yeah, that's really scruffy on a few fronts, wasn't it? First Clara, and then Keshi Anderson, and then their defender. It was all a little bit messy. The Blues can just steady themselves.
Collins takes the ball well, looks to find a teammate on this right-hand side, but that's Cochrane who steps in front of Hayes, the desired target. Anderson, Cochrane, Pek Sung-ho, 35 yards from goal, just probing. It's a defensive line that the Posh have set up. The ball now out with Christoph Clara, and Blues being patient but purposeful in possession.
What I like about Blues is they're so well versed at breaking down these sort of sides with 11 men inside their own half. It's been the story of the whole season, really. They're not afraid to start again and just go back to your centre half who stood on the halfway line and say, okay, then we have the ability to pop it around you, to break down a stubborn back line. They've done it all season. They're patient in their build-up. Players that are comfortable with the ball at their feet.
Laird looking to jostle his way down the right-hand side, past Kyprianou, but the Cypriot stands firm and shepherds the ball behind, but Ethan Laird's looked sharp, he's looked athletic since coming on, everything you expect from another man going through a real purple patch this calendar year.
Yeah, best season today, arguably from Ethan Laird this season. Yes, obviously a drop in level to what he was playing last year, but you know, the way he latches onto those Ryan Allsop long clearances, aerially is a threat.
Just a hint of miscommunication between Bielik and Allsop, but Allsop on his toes urgently to get there before Jones could charge it down. The long ball played forward by Peterborough. 22 to go. Allsop looking for one of those heat-seeking missiles downfield. Nobody home for Blues. Free header for Fernandez is loose. Plucked out of the sky by May, and it's really nice close control to tee up Ethan Laird down the right-hand side. Laird teasing his way towards the byline, but his cross is blocked by Harley Mills, who stuck with him stride for stride. And now Peterborough looking to mount a counter-attack with Odo getting up to speed, up to the halfway line. Christoph Clara fully blooded, and it's clipped out towards this right-hand side for Kian Hayes. Hayes looking to stand up Pek Sung Ho as he drives into the right-hand side of the penalty area. Keshi Anderson comes back to help out the South Korean, and there's no way past the Blues winger for the Peterborough man, and he dispossesses him, and Blues have played this very nicely indeed out of a tight area. Just so Rolls Royce at times.
So good. Yeah. Peterborough think they've got you. They've got you penned in your own sort of left-back position, but trio of players just combine, pop it around you. They're down the side of the touchline, then it's in field, and now Blues have got possession again and can build from Christian Bielik, and a little bit of quality. Love that.
6-1, half dozen the other. Kyprianou got his body between man and ball, and then the referee just signalling that it was a culmination of offences by Tomoki Iwata.
Yeah, he won the ball too many times, I think he was saying to him. You got to go in the book, Tomoki, you won the ball too many times.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that occasion. It's
been a little harsh, perhaps. That one's not a foul in my book, but who are we?
He certainly hasn't stood out to me as a serial offender, that's all I'd say, but, you know, I'm not an official, so there we go. There's probably a reason for that. Clara on the Blues back line. Laird into space for Willemsen, who can turn. Alfie made a dart through the centre, but Willem Willemsen chose not to release the ball, instead finds refuge with Clara, who will put his boot through it towards the Blues left-hand side. It was Donnelly who stuck his head in bravely, and Peterborough looking to profit with Hayes charging down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Cochrane retreated well, but at the expense of a corner kick, and that all came from the bravery of James Donnelly.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what you want when you're subbing out on the pitch is an uplift in that performance. I'd like to see us go through the gears a little bit, having injected a little bit of urgency and tempo in. Of course, you've got yourselves in front, but what you don't want to do is just lull into this false sense that the game's done. Still 20 minutes to play, don't want to concede, don't want any shocks. You've got to make sure that they can go again, find that zip in their passing, that fluidity again.
Shocks?
Yeah, it's a buzzword of ours.
Mills, left-footed in-swinger from this right-hand side, from the corner kick, and it was Bielik who connected with it at the front post and concedes the throw-in. Mills, short to Poku, screened by Harris as he looks to dance infield from the right touchline.
Got an overload here.
Yeah, Mills onto his left foot, swings into that corridor of uncertainty. And there's a touch towards goal from the 6-yard box. Not sure it was Willemsen or Sam Hughes, the Peterborough captain, but Allsop nonetheless could pick up in on his goal line and instantly release Ethan Laird. What a drop kick, what a pass from Ryan Allsop, but Ethan Laird can't find a way past Archie Collins to really capitalise, and the attack breaks down.
Yeah, clip that one again, that's another one on the montage. Ryan Allsop. Oh, Peck. Shoot.
Peck. It's just shoot, instead works himself onto his right foot towards the right corner of the penalty area, and the opportunity is closed up to the South Korean.
It's the one aspect, isn't it, that he can still add. Peck got some lovely position, middle of the pitch, 25 yards out, 20 yards out, pulled a trigger, it opens up lovely for you. I've seen you score a 30-yarder against Brazil. He's capable of doing it.
Laird looking for the 1-2 with Williamson as Jay Stansfield is waiting to take to the field. Blues just operating on the periphery of this Peterborough low block, and Keshi Anderson with a deft touch through to Alfie May. And there's Harris, left-hand side. Keshi Anderson looking to tease his way onto his right foot, looks to go through the gap and barrel into the penalty. In his tracks though, Harris infield from the left-hand side. Blues still probing. Bielik did well to control Harris's fizz to keep the attack going. And Blues now down the right-hand side. Mills in his side to Ed, looking to tee someone off edge of the penalty area. He's found Peck, and Peck can cushion from Blues. Just needs someone to pull the trigger and work a bit of magic, but the attack breaks down with a fully blocked stride, and he can tee up Keshi Anderson. He floats it into the penalty area, but Cipriani with the header away, only as far as Keshi Anderson. They find Williamson in the penalty area, and then there was Tomoki Iwata on the follow-up with the drive, but that was snuffed out by a crowd of Peterborough shirts. They were just lining up to have a go, Blues then, and Peterborough just about got away with things.
Yeah, you just want someone to pull the trigger, didn't you? You're just waiting for somebody to get that final shot off on goal. Instead, Tomoki Iwata almost comes through and thinks, right, I'll do it, and just tries to absolutely lace the ball. And ricochet behind him in the end, but yeah, I'd like to see Blues just keep their foot on the gas, keep moving that ball, go and get a third, go and kill the game.
Yeah. Left-footed ball in from Mills from the left-hand side is courageously blocked by Clara, and down goes Peck. His footwork too quick for Collins, and the free kick goes Blues' way, and there's going to be a change apiece from the bench for Blues. Alfie May is going to make way. His 5th goal in 4 games for the Blues, number 9. Taken like a seasoned striker, exactly where you want in between the posts. A delicious ball in from Taylor Gardner-Hickman, and Alfie May will eat those chances up every single day of the week. Aided by the underside of the crossbar to get us on our way to the Championship, and he will make way for Jay Stansfield, who's going to get 15 minutes before Wembley.
Made up for Alfie. Great character, as we say, among the group. Had to go through a bit of a rough patch in the last couple of months, but right back in the thick of the goals now, where he belongs. Big high five from his manager, hugs from the backroom staff. Players will be delighted for him as well. And that's what you get. That's why in the summer you go and get the top marksman at this level. And he can make the difference, as he has so on occasions this year.
So many big goals that Jay Stansfield has scored, and as you say, Dale, everyone's going to talk about the money, but it's a long-term investment for this Blues project, and Stansfield instantly involved, but he's caught in the edge of the penalty area and dispossessed, and then Peck looks to help it on to Cochrane. Cochrane dives in, but Hayes has ridden the challenge, but Peck Sung-ho gets goal side, looks to atone for his error, and does just about enough, and does brilliantly, in fact, the South Korean, to win the ball back and work it to Ryan also.
What are you wincing for, Matt? We're fine. It's fine.
Oh.
You've seen enough of it now. What are we, 52 games in? That's what Blues are going to do. That's what Ryan Wilson has all the confidence in the world, doesn't he? Yeah. You know, he's played a reverse pass across the 18-yard box, but that, you know, that's his game. That's why he's so good with the ball at his feet.
No, you're absolutely right. More full move.
Have a bit more faith.
Bielik sends it long towards Stansfield, who kills it with his first touch and offloads to Luke Harris. Keshi Anderson.
Come on, Luke.
Was open down the left-hand side. Harris couldn't find him. But the tenacity of Stansfield has won the ball back for Blues in the midfield. Now, here comes Williamson. Urged to shoot. Offloads to Ethan Laird. Laird across the penalty area. Cannon behind Blues corner.
Yeah, Blues looking for that third now, aren't we? Shifted it really, really well. All starts with Christian Bielik cutting past through the middle of the pitch to find Jay Stansfield. just opens the game right up. And again, Willemsen picks up, just shallows off, picks up a good little pocket. Ethan Laird hugging the touchline, and Blues settle for the corner, but really good flowing move. Starts with Christian Bielik.
And then that tenacity of Jay Stansfield to keep things alive, as you say. And worked out towards Ethan Laird, and low ball in, cannoned behind. So Blues corner kick had just taken the sting out of things and reorganised, reassessed, get everybody into position to ready for this set-piece situation. Corner kick from the right-hand side in front of that boisterous Blues away end. Pek Sung-ho, both arms raised before delivering right-footed. Decent delivery, Bielik was up, flicked across the 18-yard box. It will fall for Iwata on the edge of the penalty area. And there's Cochrane, touch out of his feet before launching back in towards the back post. Clara nods it down, but can only find a Peterborough shirt who can hack away to safety. Ethan Laird's going to be charged down by Lindgren, who came on for Ricky J. Jones at the same time as Jay Stansfield. The Swede will now lead the line for Peterborough. Peck, Willemsen, Ethan Laird on the right-hand side, just midway inside Peterborough territory. Blues really now in a vice-like grip of proceedings, but as we've seen, Peterborough are certainly a live opposition, and Blues, no room for complacency, no room for error, full concentration required at all times. But have just looked a lot more dominant in the past 10-15 minutes or so, and forcing Peterborough into situations like that, launching the ball long, first contact being a Blues one, and then Peterborough having to once again play through the lines of this Blues back line. It's a long ball up to Abraham Odo, dragged down by Ethan Laird after a decent first touch, and this is exactly what I just alluded to, and Peterborough will have a set piece left of centre in a handy position.
Yeah, I just don't want Blues to get dragged down into this bit of a lull. You just think the game's done. You've got 10 minutes left to play plus stoppage, still just a slender 2-1 lead. So you've got to keep maintaining those intensity levels, keep trying to score a third goal. Don't make yourself open, but I felt the game just petered out a little bit, didn't it, midway through that second half, and so they've got to try and find a way of picking that back up. Don't invite the pressure late on, because of course it's human nature, you want to get across the line, you can't afford to drop off.
Harley Mills left-footed, Hughes arriving around the back, Christian Bielik made contact, he had to, with the Peterborough captain ghosting behind him, turns it behind for a corner. So another set piece for Blues to defend. Posh having a period of galvanisation, a surge of a rally, and the home fans urging this ball across the line. Blues lead by 2-1. Corner for Peterborough, right into that 6-yard box again. Christian Bielik, vital header at the front post. It comes back out towards Mills. Reverse ball down the right-hand side for Hayes, who looks to pick his target in the middle. Across comes Ethan Laird, second consecutive corner. Blues under the cross, all hands to the pump, 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's it, and that's why the scoreline's 2-1. We've seen so many times this season where Blues have been so dominant in games, particularly at St Andrews, but haven't got the scoreline that reflects that dominance. They've not quite been as in control. Certainly been the better of the two teams. Got to make sure you go and get the margin to reflect it. Go and kill the game off. Go and get that third goal. It completely takes the wind out of the sails. But whilst there's a one-goal game, gives Peterborough that little bit of hope going into the final stages.
So Mills, left-footed, this time a corner towards the back post. Hughes with the header, palmed away by Allsop. An important save, vital save from the Blues shot stopper.
Come up with big saves and big moments. He's in.
Stansfield. Willemsen was away down the right-hand side. It might have been who Jay was looking for. He might have just got the technique all wrong. I'm not too sure, because he immediately apologised. Jay Stansfield.
Yeah, Matt, he's gone for goal.
Okay,
he's seen the goalkeeper off his line. He's tried to half volley one, which is a difficult technique, but you've got Willemsen in absolutely acres. Just slide him in. Chris Davies absolutely up in arms in the technical area. Can see it. We could all see it. Unfortunately, the one man who didn't is the one that mattered.
This is what we just alluded to, keeping your composure in those moments, just like Ryan Allsop did a few moments ago. Could be a season-defining save of such magnitude. There's a commanding header from Hughes round the back.
He's offside.
Needed to be saved by Allsop. The linesman wasn't really up with the pace of play, but we were, and Abraham Odo, not that we were running down, but we were bang in line with Odo as he was played through.
Yeah, it starts on the blind side.
Yeah,
I know the natives around us are unhappy about it, but he was offside the minute that pass was played forward. He's the wrong side of that Blues back line.
Yeah, Odo flagged offside then, and another Peterborough change imminent. Archie Collins is going to make way for Ryan de Havilland.
And he will be replaced by number 9, Ryan de Havilland.
Another former teammate of Mr. Jay Stansfield with the Fulham under-21s. Like-for-like change in the centre of the park for the Posh. 7 minutes to go. Blues lead by 2-1. The finish line in sight. The championship glimmering on the horizon. Ethan Laird brings the ball down and charges into the penalty area. Ethan Laird will look to tee up. Luke Harris, who's placed it wide. Well, Luke Harris just let the ball roll across his body onto his left foot, and he was just off balance as he struck it, and it showed in the finish, and it just whistles wide of the right-hand post. Dale, what a chance to seal it.
It was. I think he needs to leave it to Keshi Anderson, who's just coming in off the left on that right foot. He's probably in a better position. Harris just almost stretching a little bit. That's why he lashed across the ball, and it gets away from goal. But Blues have had opportunities, haven't they? The game opening up a little bit now. And I don't know if that favours us or not, but you know, we've gone close. Jay Stansfield should play in Fulham. Luke Harris has gone close there again, so they are at least asking questions now in that final third.
Grant Hanley being readied by the Blues bench just to bolster that back line and get Blues over the finish line. Clara sends it out towards the right-hand side for Laird, who can bring it down with his chest, and Laird teasing himself towards the byline down the right-hand side. I think he was a judge maybe to handle the ball on his way through, so the free kick goes Posh's way.
Your match day sponsors have given us their man of the match.
Credit to the Blues fans, but we're 10,500 here inside the Western Homes, but just under 4,000 travelling Blues fans. Given that additional allocation just a couple of days ago, Chris Davies in agreement with me here on the referee's performance. He's raging with another decision, but Blues got to maintain a little bit of composure now. You're into the championship rounds. Another one. Just us. Is it just us? Well, I don't even think Iwata makes a challenge. He runs across him. Chris Davies giving the fourth official absolutely earloads. The players have to be composed, but we don't. Is the beauty of it.
Yes. 4 minutes to go until stoppage time, and now the Blues change is going to be made. Luke Harris, who just had that chance to seal it with 5 to go, but he's put in a experienced performance, a composed performance, some really neat touches, some good defensive work as well from Luke Harris, who, as you alluded to, Dale, might not have played as much league football as he would have wanted to, but what an experience he's had this season at what looks to be a League One champion side.
No, well done to the young man, because again, works his socks off, runs, tries to get forward, tries to make things happen, isn't shy of getting on the ball. He scored goals this season.
So the free kick taken by Mills for Peterborough, launched into the penalty area, headed away by Clara. Hanley's first involvement since coming on is to nod the ball out for a throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, that's the remit for Grant Hanley. Head it, kick it, squeeze up the pitch.
Yeah, no surprises that Blues have gone to a back five with the introduction of the Scottish international, but Ethan Laird giving the ball away to Odo, who's looking to tease Ethan Laird and flashes across the face of goal with his ball across. Nobody home in a Peterborough shirt to capitalise, and it fades all the way through and out for a throw on his near side.
It felt like it was always a couple of yards ahead of a blue shirt, wasn't it? Tried to wrap his foot around it, but he was happy to see it drift all the way across the pitch and out for a throw-in. I think you also don't want Blues to fall into the temptation, because you're throwing another centre-half on, that you just have to camp inside your own 18-yard box. Yes, you've got that aerial presence with Grant Hanley, Christian Bielik and Christoph Klara all on the pitch, but still want the likes of Keshi Anderson, Jay Stansfield, go and make those runs, try and make it happen and kill the game off with a third. Drag.
Yeah, he got the 4-iron out the back, being a pitching wedge. The Peterborough centre-back looking for Cian Hayes down the right-hand side. And the ball drifts harmlessly behind for a goal kick. And now the 2 minutes on the clock, that tonight is the night. Peterborough certainly haven't stood on ceremony with a minute of the 90 to go. All-important lead. Now it's just about getting over that finish line.
Yeah, fan again, aren't they? Few chances relating to promotion. Second, I'd say.
Again, the referee.
Go on then, go on then.
Transfer it to whoever's at.
Stand up, there you go, Kesh.
Anderson just cannoning off his shins as he...
Not sure, Peterborough.
Yeah, playing with fire again, the Posh, but this time they've escaped without severe punishment, but they have given the ball away, much to the frustration of Darren Ferguson, who just throws his hands in the air in exasperation. So all eyes on the fourth official now as he stands board in hand. How long will Blues have to wait until the inevitable? 4 minutes of added time as Iwata loses the ball in the midfield.
The fourth official indicated a minimum of 4 minutes of added time.
Right, Matt, pitch side duties for me.
Yeah.
As we head up, so you're on your own for added time. So bring us home, Delaney.
No, that's all good.
3.5 minutes.
Dale Moon, ever the busybody, has to go down and make sure that Chris Davis is all ready for his post-match when these scenes of celebration are sparked into life. Off you go, Dale.
Thank you very much.
So I will be the one to take you home, to take Blues home, back to the championship. As Keep Right On rings around the boisterous away end. Blues on the brink, 3 minutes away from history. The comeback was promised to be greater than the setback, and Blues are almost there. Anderson thought that he was brought down, nothing doing from the referee, as we're into the final 2 minutes of stoppage time. Blues 2 minutes away from an instant return to the championship in a record-breaking season. Stansfield covering every blade of grass up there until the end. Here comes Manny Fernandez. Posture forced Ryan Alsop into a decent save in this second half. But apart from that, it's been a game that's been in a chokehold for Blues as Bielik receives the ball in his own back line and looks to take on half the Peterborough squad himself. He's brought down, and we have 1.5 minutes. Sarah rings around from both ends of the ground. Again, the dress rehearsal, this was coined for the big day in the capital. But Blues are going to raise the curtain on an ambitious future tonight. Stansfield still wrestling. Hit out of play by Willemsen. 45 seconds on the clock. Ball across the penalty area. Keshi Anderson was interested, but the Posh goalkeeper got there just in time to clear away. 30 seconds to go. Kean Hayes. Posh looking for one last push to spoil the party. 10 seconds to go as Cipriano turns back towards his own goal. That's exactly what we need. But here comes Hughes. Last throw of the dice for the Posh. Hughes comes forward, but Peck intercepts. And there's the full-time whistle. And so it is done. Mission accomplished. Everyone said we were in for a shock. Well, how's this for a shock? Blues are back in the Championship with 6 league games to spare.